Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I take an arguably inappropriate amount of pleasure in introducing to you, in the top right, in the red, the Zerg player, the former world champion. In my not-so-humble opinion, the most entertaining player in the world. It's the final boss. It's Dark. But more than a match on the other side. Not a former world champion, but a current one. The underdog Terran, Oliveira. Also, his teammate. A best of 3, Terran versus Zerg. Oliveira's stand-up, knockdown, marine tank Terran up against Dark's clever, cunning, slimy, underhanded, conniving Zerg. It really depends on the eye of the beholder and whether or not Dark is able to shiv it out with a Nidus or maybe even a Queen all-in. I'm always excited to see these two face off. We've seen it before, and I'm always going to take an opportunity to see it again. And if you want to see even more, it'd be awesome if you could like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? What? 1,202 likes on this series, on this cast, on this Clash of World. Okay, save the clickbait for the title. But if we get 1,202 likes, I'll cast another series. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. These two, they've had series that are 15 minutes long and over an hour. Best of 3s, that is. So, expectation should be left at the door as we waltz in and take a look at the early builds. Oliveira, Command Center first, Dark, quick 3-hatch into Roaches without even Zergling speed. So, plenty of time for dramatic introductions out of the way. And it's a battle cruiser. It's been a little bit, but I'm excited to introduce you to Oliveira's Fusion Core. Wow, it's been a while. I did not expect it. The unexpected battle cruiser is arguably the deadliest, but Oliveira bringing back the big battle cruiser cannons. Fusion Cordis. Wait. Okay, wait. It is a battle cruiser. He's getting stim. I'm not convinced. It's definitely an odd start. It's not going to be advanced ballistics. That's not the thing. Maybe there's a spot on this map with the unkillable Liberator. I'm not sure, but a handful of roaches. Well, if you can fit 8 roaches in your hand, a handful of roaches. Big hands. On the way across. Dark just showing enough to... he starts a Banshee. You have a Fusion Core, Oliveira. Don't disappoint me like this. He cancels the Banshee. I think he's realizing that we're 5 minutes in. It's non-speed roaches. You should be able to hold a battle cruiser. Is in production. Here on Equilibrium, which is our more... It's our air map. Well, Radisson Station and Equilibrium, both air maps. Looks like the battle kind of got turned around here. Some of the roaches keeping the Hellions at bay. And Bunker finishes just in time. This is going to be a little suspicious here. As Dark at the front, seeing a Bunker, an engineering bay not upgrading, chasing down a handful of Hellions. He could just walk by. There is a Marauder done. A lair is nearly complete. How many Spore Crawlers does Oliveira have? 0. But Dark, the Zerg player who builds Spore Crawlers, also 0. More relevantly, this is just 2 command centers. Dark does have the gold base, though he hasn't started mining from it yet. So, there is nothing to deal. He's going to be completely blindsided by the teleporting capital ship. He jumps into the main, where there's absolutely nothing to stop him. The completely unscouted, blindsided by the battle cruiser. One of the queens, transfuse good. Spore Crawler's on the way. So the battle cruiser will wreak absolute havoc throughout Dark's base. But at the end of the day, Dark still has 70 drones. The battle cruiser cannot kill enough in time to really stall out Dark's economy. So the awkward part of this is that despite Dark being honestly having nothing against the battlecruiser may work. He's building 10 over. Well, a lot of his overlords are going to go down as the battlecruiser is cruising past them. Now working its way down towards the goal. Gonna try to get some more, but Dark is on 4 bases. He's decided that the best counter to losing a dozen drones is building 2 dozen more. And a single Hellion gets by, both in the main, and oh wait, the Reaper's in the main. And then the natural Hellion is cleaned out. But Dark, 69 drones. Nice enough to survive here. Battlecruiser tactical jump is back up. Nidus is on the way. Cruiser jumps back home. So the battlecruiser, it feels like maybe a bit on the later side to get meaningful damage done. But the overlords were taken out. The battlecruiser cleared out the vision, and that means Dark is completely unaware. The Marines gunning down the Evo chamber, and it looks like +1 carapace is denied. And that's a meaningful win in the grand scheme of things. Now, what you don't know can hurt you. And in the darkness, roaches, queens, whatever he wants to jam into that Nidus. Down go the tanks at the front. It's not like there's much to defend otherwise. The roaches are popping out into the main. Dark strikes back. He says, you can drop, but I could effectively warp in all of my roaches into your main. And the entire main base going to be ransacked by the roaches. 15 SCVs down so far, and Oliveira doesn't have many more to lose. The orbital command is forced to lift, already burning. Battlecruiser at the back. The roaches will fight. The battlecruiser doesn't have enough damage here. The Marines, the SCVs are actually pulled. Oliveira can't afford to lose too many more of those. Pops back into the Nidus as the losses start to mount. More SCVs will go down to the third. Dark has done over double the damage that Oliveira was able to deal on the other side of the map. 28 to 5 wow. Oliveira only killed 5 orcas. I guess forcing the spores out. Infestation pit is now done. Metabolic boost. We got burrow move. Tunneling claws as well. So burrow move roaches. Oliveira's gonna pick up everything. So we've already gone sideways, up, down, and around. Oliveira teleporting and boosting his way into Dark's base, whereas Dark deep tunneling his way through. Overall, I think the final boss currently has the advantage, and not by a small... When that production tab is stretching over half the screen and making me rethink the UI decisions on this observer overlay, you know the Zerg player. He's getting Baneling Nest, 2 hatcheries, Hive, drones, Zerglings, Overlords, +1 carapace, +1 melee attack, +2 ranged attack, burrow, Zergling speed, and tunneling claws. But will any of that help against the beachhead that Oliveira has created? Jumps in the battlecruiser, bolts in the medevacs. The slowlings going to engage a siege tank. The Hive is targeted down and cut out of the tech tree. And most of the things that Dark has been working towards have been undercut yet again. Oliveira with an incredible response. He just goes for the heart of the swarm and cuts it right out. The corrosive bile's almost enough. There are no queens, only the Ravagers, but somehow he's actually able to get a hit. 20 drone kills. A Liberator. That Liberator has 7 kills. Another Liberator, 9 kills. And Oliveira with the wombo combo here. The massive attack in the main, keeping even Dark distracted. Well, the Liberators sliced into the mineral lines, and 27 drones. Dark is pinned all the way back. The battlecruiser is still going to work. 32 kills and counting. The only real damage dealt by the corrosive bile, but Oliveira, he may have been beaten down, but he was not taken out. Oh, the battlecruiser, it can jump in oh my god, jumps away at the last moment. 1 battlecruiser, but at first it didn't look like it was getting the work done. I will say, the battlecruiser looked like a bit of a false start there, but Oliveira has made it worth it. The battlecruiser has kept Dark at bay. It's been that extra factor in a lot of these fights, and now I can't believe Oliveira bounced back so hard. This is a bit of a ping-pong game right now as both players deal heavy blows but take them in return. I still, well, wow, this is, wow. All right, it's gonna take a little time to kind of take stock of things, because Dark was denied the Hive. It didn't even finish. No Vipers, no upgrades. In fact, Dark is still on 1-2-1 right now, with the +2 being ranged attack. He's just now starting +2 melee. Did he get Tunneling Claws done? Yes, he has Burrow and Tunneling Claws. There are Infestors out as well as those Dark Festers. Definitely the most dangerous. Serals are amazing, but Serals are more like... he uses them more like special operatives, okay? Dark's Infestors, on the other hand, are like mad scientists. You don't know exactly what they're gonna do, and it might hurt more than help, but at the end of the day, the fungals are massive. Corrosive Bile, spray and pray. Marine's gonna be healed up, though. Not enough to deal with them. Baneling speed is not done. The battlecruiser's heading towards the north side. Baneling speed, there it is. Neural Parasite on the way, realizing that maybe getting the tanks or something, might as well get it. If you have this many Infestors, Neural Parasite clearly an option. Battlecruiser is pinning some of the queens into the main as well. Multiple spore crawlers. He's taken this very seriously. Finally, the Hive is done. But Oliveira is, well, he's not maxed out, but he has 2-2. He has the upgrades. And now he has a 4th base as well. What a game. Like I said, I'm going to take every opportunity to see these two face off. And so far, yet again, not disappointed. This is one of the craziest games I've seen in quite a while. I watched double-digit games of Clem versus Seral, and none of them came even close to being this creative. High level, top tier, perfect micro, yes, but this is madness. This is chaos. And right now, at least I'm enjoying it. All right, drops cleaned up, but they do drag the army back. What? There are 4 evolution chambers. Well, he's making sure he can get all the upgrades, okay? And if you need to sip on it a little bit with the Vipers and get some energy, well, there you go. Dark's triple Evo chamber versus Oliveira's. The battlecruiser is still alive, and legend has it, while that battlecruiser lives, Oliveira will as well. Dangerous to tie your livelihood to a single unit, but the mothership core was removed a long time ago. The battlecruiser.
Assimilation successful.
Oh no. Disaster! Stand right there. And, somebody called a pause at that moment, which is even more dramatic. It's unclear. Very awkward timing for a pause indeed. Adding to the drama of this game, but the battlecruiser goes down, and the morale of the Terran army has never been at quite a... I choose to believe the pause was while the neural parasite happened. I think it was slightly after. Probably one of the silly observers lagging out, but what a timing. 3-3-3 on the way. Dark with the triple Evo. Now, no battlecruiser. Maybe we'll go back. He does have the fusion core. Did he get advanced ballistics? Is this one of those games? Oh, there are rocks. Okay. I know. Is this one of those games where he forgets that he has that high-level tech? That will happen a lot with pro players. Another one being like a quick Dark Shrine for Protoss and just forgetting they built it in the first place. Wow, Oliveira has pretty comfortably gone from a Marine tank army to now an entrenched ghost. Well, he's 13 siege tanks and counting. He's getting +3 mech weapons. Those are hitting about as hard as they ever could. Those burrow festers waiting for their opportunity. Overlords will spot the medevacs headed towards the main. Dark moves to intercept. And after 15, 16 minutes of chaos, the game is starting to slow down. Is he actually just right-clicking on the base in DDS and most of the Marines live? Scouting medevac? Or was it? Parasitic bomb on the... Okay, well that did not go so great. And the surviving Marines having a tough time. Still one on the high ground. Nidus at the very back here, using a burrowed Zergling for it. $32 Banelings. On the way. Nidus is done. Not sure what you pop out of that Nidus at this stage of the game. Another Nidus into the main. This one more meaningful. Oliveira moves to intercept. The Ghost should be able to take it out in time. I'm not actually sure about that one. It's close enough that, yeah, they get it. If only you could snipe it. Ravagers. Oh, he didn't know how he had high ground, but he gave away the Infestor by killing the Ravager with Corrosive Bile. And trying to trade out some of these roaches, I think, Dark here. We might be able to take out this planetary. With it, a lot of SCVs. It gets the tank as well. Gets a Ghost. You know, not too well. He's not getting away with this one. The Ghost point blank snipes. 15 Corruptors on the way. Widowmines get some good hits. It's gonna be... Wait, does he have a Greater Spire? He does. He has double Spire. The Nidus in the main going mostly unscouted here. And by unscouted, I mean Oliveira not reacting. He actually sent out a dropship with Marines to deal with it, and there's nothing in the Nidus. Greater Spire is completed. Seven Broodlords on the way, which is all Dark can build for now, unless he's willing to cheat. We'll see if he does some spore cancels. Or just builds a bunch of spores at this point. 79 drones is pushing it. Because Oliveira had 60 SCVs. His army... He's building another... You already have one of those! Oliveira forgot about his fateful fusion core from earlier. Which is understandable, but still highly amusing. Alright, settle in. And now we've reached the late game. Neither player, despite the hectic mid-game battles, neither player able to get a decisive advantage. And now, with a map full of choke points here, well, it looks like Dark gonna go for it. He's gonna try to get some progress here. Has a lot of Broodlords. 1-1 in the air, 3-3 on the ground for the Broodlings, though they're not particularly great at battling. I am heartily amused that he just completely forgot about the fusion core. Hellbats, Marines just running through the spine crawlers, holding the line. Zerglings killing some more SCVs. Down under 50 here. Well, the Ravagers gonna knock out some of it. Some burrowed unit. The burrowed Zerg. It's too cute. Can't land on it. Dark is potentially mining from his entire half of the map. It's pretty clear where the halfway point is here as well. Unlike some maps where there's maybe a contested base. Nope. It's pretty clear where we are when it comes to some simple geometry. Advanced ballistic starts on the fusion core. The secondary fusion core, of course. Oh, some fungals interrupt the snipes, but the Thors are pounded their way through. Those are +3s, now getting plating as well. Another Roach. Looking for some more. No man's land right in the center here. Quite a choke point. Not sure who it favors more, because the Thors need decent surface area to deal with this. But at the same time, obviously, the ground army of the Zerg struggles. Ooh. The entire army came back. Couple Thors in order to deal with the Nidus. He's targeting the Nidus, but the Zerglings pop out. Those are 3-3 cracklings. That's still Thors. Meanwhile, Dark is moving his way forward. Fungals to interrupt the snipes. Scans, Venn diagram scan across the board there. Parasitic Bomb makes those Liberators very uncomfortable. But he loses his Vipers. 2 more Vipers on the way. Pops up. Corrosive Bile knocks down 1 Liberator. Are there any Corruptors? No. Infestors and Vipers in production. Oliveira's actually out of money. He's not been able to mine very comfortably. Dark has kept enough pressure on that. He kept knocking out the base to the north. And Dark is still mining about as comfortable as you can be on his side of the map. using the faster yet overall weaker Broodlords to kind of outmaneuver Oliveira's clunky Thor Ghost army. 10 Ghosts, 10 Thors, 10 tanks. Ah, yes. So there's something profound about that. Ghost cloaking on the way. The tanks being systematically devoured by the Broodlords. Dark doing a great job of just cutting through the defense. Oliveira spread too thinly, it seems. Despite his superior army supply, Dark is carving through it. 12 Broodlords. 10, how many Thors? At some point, well, Neural Parasite is the major threat to Thors, as the best counter to Thors is Thors. Overall, without Neural Parasite, Mass Thor would likely be the best army composition. Well, essentially, if there weren't spellcasters for Zerg, Mass Thor would be unbeatable. They are actually ridiculously strong against even Hive Tech. But with Blinding Cloud and Neural Parasite as threats, their usefulness is slightly reduced, but still obviously very strong. That's why the Ghosts are still involved here. Always important. Here we go. Thors, high impact, looking real good right now. Neural Parasite gets one, looking for snipes. Even one Thor turning against him. Well, the Broodlords will back off. Most of the Thors survive the battle. And overall, wow, Dark in that battle cast four Fungals, 2 Blinding Clouds, 5 Corrosive Bowels, a Neural Parasite he consumed a couple times, threw 3 Transfuses in. And I don't know if that's the limit of it, because that's how many icons we have on the UI. I've never seen that filled up. It's not that many spells, but 52 Banelings! I've never seen that entire bar filled up. Is there anything else he could have cast that I'm not thinking of? Microbial Shroud? Any sort of Overseer abilities? Maybe Creep Doomers? Abduct? Well, not Neural, Nidus Network. You know, that could actually draw some fire. Not sure, maybe popping out Banelings at point blank. He's using Banelings to counter Thors! Neural Parasite turns some Thors against him, but there's not enough Infestors to finish the job. The Banelings are just wandering back and forth. That Hellbat somehow survives. And actually, the mech army of Oliveira is pounding its way through. The Thor's hammers ringing throughout the battlefield, and the Ghosts and Liberators taking the space created by their masterful mech counterparts, and a nuclear missile as the Terran army strikes back. That's the second nuke, actually. I'm not sure where the first one landed. If it did. The nuke on the edge gets an extractor and a drone. But that is the issue. Like, if you don't have enough Infestors to control the Thors, they're just so much. There's so much. In the long lost words of Tychus, rest in pieces. If you're not gonna tell me not to have a little fun, well then I'm gonna have a little fun. And I imagine that every Terran player from here to the Bronze League that's able to make Mass Thor work is having more than a little fun. Let's be honest, they are one of the coolest units. Prepare for Titanfall. Bring back Goliaths. Caduceus Reactor. As, finally Oliveira deems it worthy. The secondary fusion core, the overlapping Venn diagrams of freedom. Things slowing down again. Dark took such heavy losses in that last battle. His bank is now threatened. He no longer has the ability to rebuild reliably. A couple parasitic bombs. They don't stack, so they don't do double damage. but you can, of course, spread it pretty dramatically. Is a nuke done? Because he cloaked like he was going to launch a nuke. No. Nuke starts production afterwards. He did not have a nuke. Dark kills his own creep tumor. He's doing the cannibalization trick, which was nerfed repeatedly, mostly because of Dark, where you use your own units in order to spawn more broodlings. The duration and health of broodlings have been nerfed dramatically in the last year or so. So, not nearly as effective. Dark had mastered the art of using his own broodlings in order to extend the range of broodlords by, like, at least 50%. The effective range. Now stutter stepping unleashes another wave. A lot of badly bruised broodlords. It's a weird sentence indeed. The Vipers. A huge danger here. Blinding Cloud in a great spot. Gets a couple snipes off to negate the Vipers. The Broodlords will move into the space created. Blinding Cloud runs out. 4 more Vipers on the way. Oliveira hurting for money. And meanwhile, Zerglings are starting to dismantle the defenses back at home. And Oliveira doesn't have many resources to rebuild. The Broodlord count, 19 of them. Now, the Thor count, only 8. A nuclear missile over the top. I mean, it's a prayer. It's a pretty decent zoning mechanism here. There are 4 overseers. Even moves, gets the extractor. There's still this base to the north, which has yet to really be mined, particularly with... What? Dark on burrows. The static defenses on either side. There's an infestor. I don't know how long it's been there, but there's an infestor in such a key spot. A fungal on the ghost at the right time. Oliveira. Well, Vikings! Get over here! The Zerglings still working their way through. Dark doing whatever he can to drag attention. Oh, wait, what? Where are you going? Come back? Oliveira, F2. Big mistake. And that will allow Dark to move up. Dark is going to take full advantage of even a moment of respite. The firing squad on the Queens. He's not really able to retake it entirely. How much gas? There's still 900 gas in there. We have to start counting like that. What? Of all the things, he meant to neural parasite a ghost. Oh, if he could have EMP'd the ghosts. But he missed. He got the wrong unit. Oh no. Another one lands. The nukes. Just praying. Thor drops. Versus mass broodlords. Oh my god. Dark still has 6k in the bank. Oliveira can barely replace even part of his army, whereas Dark has enough gas to replace most of it. The minerals are a little thinner here. Abducting Vikings. 23 broodlords. That's a lot of infestors. If he could maybe get a ghost drop, he just melts the orbital. Raining down broodlings here. More ghosts slaughtered. And oh no, there's a Thor. He's got, at some point, you just have to fight. Looks for the EMPs. How many more ghosts are there? More EMPs. The Thors are fighting. Gets an EMP on the Vipers. The Thors are standing their ground, but the parasitic bomb is doing a lot of damage here. Are the Thors enough? He's moving forward. Some more Thors from the south side. Oliveira trying to hold, but Dark can rebuild. All right. So, 11 broodlords to 6 Thors and 13 ghosts. Last 2 minutes of battle. Problem is, Dark can rebuild again, and Oliveira is out of a Nidus in the main. Dark's small jabs to the north side have slowly but surely undercut Oliveira's ability to keep enough units on the field. And it looks like Dark, with another dozen or so Broodlords, may have enough to close this out. Oliveira just can't match it. Dark still has... Well, he's mined out of almost every single base. He's down to his last couple thousand gas of mining. Assuming he's not able to get Oliveira's. Here we go. Oliveira not even really fully repaired his units here. There are 9 infestors underneath, 2 vipers. The flock of broodlords, 23. There's only 8 Thors, 7 Thors, 6 Thors. Yanks in a Liberator. The Corruptor's in front. Parasitic Bomb. The Vipers just die. EMP hits all the infestors, but they may have already done their damage. The Broodlings are raining down. Well, the Hellbats are helping out a lot. Dark is target firing the Thors. He's not bothering. Well, and there's just too many of them. Dark rains down the Broodlings. Oh, an exhaustive game. Remember the hero cruiser. The smooth, almost jarring shift from the back and forth mid-game to a half-map scenario. But Dark adapts just a little bit better. And he's able to take the victory quite decisively. Oliveira never really found the fight. Dark, just too dominant in that late game scenario. And game 1 will go to the final boss, who absorbed all the various attacks and bounced back even harder. Wow. The flexibility there. What a game, though. God, the entire, like, we had early game shenanigans, well, not that early, but early game shenanigans, and late game half map nuclear neural parasite. These players are willing to play the entire game. And it's beautiful, but exhausting to watch. Game 1 to Dark, but now, it's a best of 3. Knowing these two, the rest of the series, don't like and subscribe while you're down there. But knowing these two, the rest of the series could be 10 minutes. Well, assuming Dark does. I don't know. I just kind of assumed Oliveira would come back and win 2 in a row. That was my mind space there. But if Dark just does like a Baneling bust, he could win in 4 minutes. So he makes it look easy. Dark does. Not easy, but plausible. Believe me, it is trying to play Broodlord, Infestor, Viper against Mass Thor Ghost on both sides. It feels like switching your left and right hand on the mouse and keyboard and doing your taxes at the same time. And it is taxing indeed. There are a lot of different units that have very different requirements to be effective. And if you slip for even a few seconds, you can lose thousands of resources and possibly the game. Just like that. Take a moment. Reaper. We're here on Alkione. Will the Reaper kill a Zergling? I don't know. Probably not. Dark actually built 8 lings. Nope. I can't count. Those are 6 Zerglings. Oh, that does not bode well. 2 command centers behind. Oliveira actually went for a more 2-base play. Command center first into the 2-base battlecruiser timing. We now got a starport. I'd be surprised to see another battlecruiser timing, but it's not out of the question. Zergling speed finishing. Dark is going to show up seconds before. Hellion should already be... No? No Hellions. Yeah, Dark actually sneaks in. Hellion's now completing, though. Oliveira realized it. Reaper is just... I think it's slightly out of vision there in the main. Indeed it is. Roach Warren is on the way. Two more gases for Dark as well. That'll be 3 in total, which is quite a significant number. Usually before 50 drones, getting 3 gases indicates you're maybe got some aggressive intentions. Viking and then Cloak behind. Potentially for Banshees. Well, obviously for Banshees. It doesn't work for anything else. 8 Roaches for Dark. And now the question is how many more? Or how much more he's willing to add behind. 9 Roaches. And he's still mining all that gas. It very well could be a Ravager all-in. Yep. Zerglings in production, indicating it's not going to end with the Roaches. Unfortunately for Dark, there's already a Banshee on the way. If this was a battlecruiser, he'd be hitting well before the battlecruiser comes out. But the Banshee, the safe choice. And this very likely to go up against a very well-prepared Oliveira. 43 to 42 workers in favor of the Chinese Terran now. The Banshee is in position. I don't think he's seen this yet, but the Banshee going to be incredibly helpful. A scan at the natural spots the drone count and the fact that there's this much gas. Dark is quite committed now, though. He's gonna try to surround the Hellions with the Zerglings. There are a lot of Hellions, though. Maybe if he can knock down the Banshee with Corrosive Bell, he takes a shot. Oliveira not gonna let that happen. Forces the 3rd base to lift. Pulls back. Doesn't actually get the lift on the depots. Which means that little bit of delay would have been quite meaningful here. But the SCVs are pulled. The Hellions, 6 SCVs so far. The Hellions helping out a lot here. 12 SCVs down in total. So, doesn't come out unscathed. But the scathing was quite minimal. Oliveira has a 3rd command center. Dark committed a lot of economy and larva to doing this attack, and it just did not get the sort of game-ending damage you'd be looking for in this scenario. And now the Cloak Banshees, there's no detection. He's got to build Spore Crawlers, which further cuts into the drone count. The Zerglings at the natural. The wall is up, but there's only a single SCV on the depot. Oh no, the Zerglings get in. And this is exactly what Oliveira needed to not happen, which is a convoluted sentence, but this is the sort of disastrous timing. Oh, losing 13 SCVs. This is the only way Dark gets back into the game. 26 SCVs now in total. Yes, he got some drone kills, Oliveira did, but letting the Zerglings, well, letting is a strong term, but not holding the wall strongly enough. And now we got a game again. Yet again, we go back and forth. As Dark, not able to get the initial damage, but while Oliveira's distracted trying to counter, and gets in and racks up enough kills to put him in a much more comfortable position economically. Now, the problem is the infrastructure, the tech. Oliveira now has 1-1 on the way. He's already got, I believe, Stim complete, yes. siege tanks in production. He's got barracks not just 2 and 3, but 4 and 5. Whereas Dark doesn't even have his Evo chambers done. Just finished a lair. Looks like he's either sprinting to Hive or just to get infestors. So he's still in an awkward spot where he has to catch up in his unit composition. But he has the 4th base on the way, decent creep spread. It's not nearly as bad as it would have been if he didn't get in and get over a dozen more SCVs. Oliveira, though, sitting comfortably on 3 bases. Dark isn't going to be able to put together much more of an attack, especially against the upgraded bio. +1 melee attack in Carapace. Hive is on the way. 2 infestors, Baneling Nest as well. Banshees looking for an opportunity, coming in again. May kill a queen. Gets it. And all those Terran upgrades coming together as well. +1/+1. Combat shield. Concussive shells. Oliveira, double medevac drop. There's nothing to the south. The medevacs taking an awkward path, as of course this is walled up by the minerals. At least for now. Dark may want to solve that soon. The drop into the main. He's got to take this very seriously, as a bunch of 1/1 Marines with combat shield are not going to go down easily. The Banshees over to the north. Targeting the spawning pool. Banshee's driven back. Actually got the extractor. Burrow is on the way for Dark. I believe infestors are out. 2-2 has not started for Oliveira, which means Dark will have an opportunity to catch up and maybe even surpass him in upgrades. Another drop to the outside of the gold base. Infestors spotted. Medevacs do a little bit of swerving in the air, trying to avoid getting double fungled. Vipers on the way. Dark is going to rely yet again on these spellcasters, and they haven't failed him so far. Adrenal glands as well. 2-2 starts for Oliveira. He's going to have a 20-30 second advantage, assuming Dark starts 2-2 immediately. A whole lot of Marauders here, though. And 4 siege tanks. The Vipers are already operational. The Infestors are already out. But Baneling Speed and Adrenal Glands are not done yet. So Oliveira still has quite an opportunity to get damage done with this army. The Infestors looking for a fungal, gets it, prevents the tanks from sieging, but seems like they're perfectly happy to be fighting without siege mode. But the Vipers are out. The tanks are all sieged up together. Blinding Cloud, incredible here. The Marines will go behind the lines. A single siege tank survives that battle. The Vipers are just wandering into the fray. Is there enough damage from Dark? The Queen's coming from the north side. Dark piling in with everything he has. That was about as perfect a fight as it was ever going to get for Dark. And Oliveira is still able to hold the line. The Terran army just too strong in this scenario. Oh my. And just stutter stepping through. The Queens are out of energy. The medevacs are as well, but without a few more banelings, finally finishing. Stutter steps back, trying to use the Marauders as a meat shield. Reinforcements on the way, but the creep has been driven back. Losing those Vipers, just an oversight there out of Dark. Really needing them to refill. It is so hard to control all those things at once, but losing 2 Vipers for free after those amazing Blinding Clouds is going to have resounding consequences, as he's building 2 more with gas he doesn't really have. Another drop. Dark is able to hold on. The one thing he was able to maintain were all of his bases. Oliveira may have held in the fight. He may have taken out Vipers and a whole heap and helping Lings and Banes and Roaches and Ravagers. But it's still 4 bases and 73 drones. Oliveira finishes 2-2. He's got a 4th base of his own. He still has plenty of production. But Dark is starting to stabilize. He got an Ultralisk Cavern, which now chitinous plating is on the way. The Lings, Banes, and Ravagers not even bothering to throw up some corrosive biles. Looks like Oliveira going to split off his forces in order to try to get damage done from multiple angles. which probably the best option at this moment to divide and then conquer individually. The Bio Army, quite strong in small numbers, one of the most efficient in medium supplies in the game. Like 20, 30, 40. Another double drop to the north draws a lot of the Zerglings. And that means the base to the south will get knocked out for free. Oliveira, that hatchery is only at half HP. Dark can't afford to stand by for long. Banelings rolling down onto what creep there is. Receding now. Parasitic bombs soften up and kill some of the medevacs. Roaches, Ravagers, and Banelings working their way in yet again. Oh, that hatchery getting dangerously low. Barely in the orange now. Chitinous plating is finishing up, but no, Ultra's just joining production. Army stutters stepping back, and Oliveira is driven back yet again, but Oliveira strikes to the north. The Zerglings remained in position. He's relying on those upgrades to carry him through, but there's just too many Zerglings. Dark is holding. He will bend, but he has yet to break. He keeps those key 4 bases alive. If he ever loses those, it's going to become almost impossible to maintain the production he needs. 2 more hatcheries on the way, just throwing things out there to see what sticks. Oliveira has 3-3 over halfway done as he continues his efforts forward. Vipers, Parasitic Bomb. Still, both players near 200 supply, but not at it. That's how stressful this game has been. Oliveira has been the aggressor for the last 8-10 minutes or so after Dark's initial attempts. Will he break through in time? The first Ultras should be out. I'm not sure where they are. Are they up to the north? We'll see in a moment. Blinding Cloud. And Oliveira starting to close in. He actually weathers the Banelings. The Ultras are chewing through the planetary, but the Bio Army comes down to save it. Ultras are melting. Hatchery taken out. And just like that, Oliveira takes it on both sides. Let's actually get a quick recap then. The Ultras and Lings attempted to take out the planetary, but Dark clearly focused on the other side. Blinding Cloud not doing very much there. The Vipers, it's just not enough. Oliveira eventually leaned on him, and there just was nothing left. Dark down to 3 bases, knows that against a 4-base Terran, it's not going to get any better. 300 Zerglings. Oliveira keeping his cool there, just like Dark in Game 1. And giving us, so far, an incredible series. These two, just amazing. Wow. Exhausting. And now we're all tied up 1-1. Going to Game 3. Oceanborn. Ocean Man. I have no idea. Honestly, both these games could have easily gone in either direction. The best sort of games, of course. But, Dark, not quite able to break Oliveira's momentum. Just like Oliveira, unable to turn it against Dark in Game 1. So, the decider. Game 3. Gonna be a 2-Rex. How many Reapers this time around? He's got the right side of the map for it, pun somewhat intended, but where the add-ons are not exposed. I'm just thinking. I do that sometimes. Alright, it happens. Believe it or not. Every once in a while, the 2 brain cells find them rubbed together a little bit. But Oliveira reminds me very much of, like, some of the best parts of Cure and Clem. Where he has that macro focus, where he always just seems to have enough supply in order to fight. And that's Cure. Whereas occasionally he'll make these moves like Clem and just decide, no, I'm winning this fight. Like standing with the tanks on the low ground even after the blinding clouds. Some players may have said, well, this is going horribly. Just boost and retreat. But he held. And while he didn't win outright, he held, like, sometimes standing around. A lot of players mistake splitting for, like, running away with your Marines is not splitting. What you want to do is have as many Marines as possible firing, and Marauders or whatever, while a handful eat the hits. But a lot of, especially your more Meta League Terrans, will say, well, I ran away and I ran away my Marines in different directions. No, that's not splitting. That's just advanced cowardice. He's gonna make 5 Reapers, but that is such, it's very hard without going to the replay and looking individually at what Terrans are doing to realize the little details that go into it. It all happens in like a quarter second, maybe half a second. But that is the most important part of standing your ground in those fights, is not running away, but instead choosing where to hold your ground. Speaking of, Dark decides to give up the 3rd hatchery to 5 Reapers, which, quite a commitment from Oliveira. Dark understanding, well, it isn't 3 racks, so at least not to start. Yeah, just the 2. I'm never sure if that's worth it. Like, he's gonna go for the hatch again. I don't think he's gonna let this one go. Of course, it was canceled. Reaper's coming in poking. He knows that speed is done, but Dark doesn't want to commit to enough Zerglings. Is he hiding his drone count? Because there's only 9 drones in the main. Dark is up to something. Yeah. You don't transfer that many drones unless you're meaning to. Like, if the Reapers get in, they will see, especially at the natural, they will see a high amount of drones. But that doesn't actually tell the story. Instead, the story is a bunch of roaches in production. Enough Zerglings to zone out the Reapers. Dark's gonna try to kill him again. And this time around, there's not gonna be a Banshee. There's not going to be a bunker. But there are going to be a bunch of Marines. So... I think this is a much more plausible situation for Dark to get the damage done. And Oliveira clearly doesn't know what's coming. He's got double engineering bay on the way. He's getting 2 more gases. He's expecting Dark to try to bounce back economically. In fact, oh no. This could be an absolute disaster. Dark, the Overlord, it's a magnet! The medevacs are done! And he may save some of the Marines, but this is not how this fight needed to start. He's actually coming out from the base, but there's more Zerglings on the way. Oliveira, I was talking about standing your ground. Oliveira actually, instead of retreating, instead of boosting, you know what? I'm a hypocrite. I expected him to run, but Oliveira turns and fights. He actually takes out a lot of the Zerglings. Pulled some of the boys. If he had stood and fought, he may have lost his tech lab. And just his barracks in general, and he may still lose it. It's certainly not over yet. That combat shield is not gonna happen. Combat shield, it really hurts not to have, but... Well, siege tank on the high ground. Orbital command in trouble. Oh, if he loses that, that's actually a huge issue. Oliveira, he can't lose that orbital. Obviously, he doesn't want to lose his Marines. The orbital lifts at the last moment. He realizes more Zerglings coming and Dark is fully committed. Grenades, but he's trying to cut his way through the Zerglings. Get into the main, onto the siege tank. Oh no. I don't know if there wasn't a wall or he just busted it down, but Oliveira's standing his ground. And 10 SCVs, but he still has a worker lead. Oliveira is chasing down the Ravagers, but there are some Zerglings in the main. How did it come to this? This is the most even fight. The 2 Marines chasing down the Ravagers, but the Zerglings in turn. A Ravager with 2 HP escapes. Oliveira, his orbital burning, lives. So, for the 17th time this series, they trade And neither player is the victor. A scan at the third sees the drone count is not particularly healthy. I think an SCV was stuck in between the Edgy Bay and the minerals. So relatable. 2 armories on the way. I think that's a mistake. I think Oliveira actually comes out slightly ahead. It's a fake! The double medevac fake. I love it. He's not risking too much with this, but he's gonna keep Dark at home. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful move right there. I usually would kind of make fun of it, but this, it makes actually... Wow. That is a 108 IQ move right there. And now Dark... Yeah, and then an actual medevac drop to the other side. And those medevacs could have Marines in them. There's nothing stopping them. He's feigning like he has... There's only 13 Marines on the map. He can't fill those medevacs. Oh, I love it. It's a small move. He didn't have... It doesn't matter. He doesn't need them at home because he doesn't have enough units for the medevacs to heal anyways. At least not now. The perfect way. Wow. Really using the whole buffalo, as they say. Oliveira. Dark and Dark has to respect it. Again, Dark is going to be left with this kind of mediocre unit composition up against a relatively solid, potentially 2-2 Terran. No infestation pit. No, yeah, it's just Roach Ravager. Knocking out the 4th base. Things are looking better and better. Oliveira has played so impressively well in this series. I don't even care how it ends. I gotta say, even though Dark is clearly a master of the late game, I'm starting to think Oliveira, his mid-game mind games, which, oh my god, that's, how many takes do I want on that sentence? Have been on point. He's managed to match Dark. He has not crumbled. Or gotten drawn into the chaos that Dark likes to create. He's stopped it at the gates. And now, he's in a comfortable position to eat. Dark's army, if Oliveira realizes what's happening, in fact, he's cutting down the Ravagers now. All he has to do, if at any point he realizes there's no hive, just hold. Marine tank Marauder with medevac support is just better. The army supplies are near even. Oliveira's army is just, he scans no hive. Just hold. And Dark will see that. I think Dark will make an infestation pit immediately. As this is not going to work. He's just gonna go for it. Oliveira's moving out. That's one way to counter it. The best defense is a good offense. He's got 2-2 done. Why let Dark set the tone when you have the army to win the series right here, right now? He tries to fight. Dark is not ready for this. Dark is looking to meet him on the field, but Oliveira is tearing through absolutely everything. The tanks are far too much, and Dark's army will crumble. Oliveira, what a series. He does not lose his cool after that tough first game. And 2 games in a row deflects Dark's aggression and strikes back harder. Now that, honestly, that is some of the best Terran versus Zerg I've ever seen, especially against Dark. Not so much just the perfect micro, but the mind games and the decision making. Absolutely top notch. He knows his teammates so well, and Dark, 1G happy about that. Well, hopefully you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed that series. I hope I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means and motivation, join these awesome nerds. Patreon, YouTube membership, all that. Either way, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Oliveira. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.